So it was negative views of vulnerable populations. So it said things like women have no right to an education, women have no right to refuse sex, homosexuals can't do anything good, and all of these opinions which are really getting in the way of those people who are most affected by HIV and AIDS. And so I was really drawn to that page just because it was the page that repulsed me the most, and that was the page that I had the strongest urge to fix. So we went into the Rubenstein Library and went through an archive that was the life work of a woman named Maria de Brun. So it was a collection of a bunch of papers from conferences around the world from the past few decades related to HIV and AIDS. And so what we did was went through and chose one page from this huge archive, and then went on that page and colored over most of the words, leaving a few words exposed. So the aim was to leave sort of a new narrative over the old narrative that was, while related to the original narrative, hopefully a little bit more of a message of maybe hope, as opposed to one that was a little bit more crude or vile or pessimistic.
One of the neat things about a place like Duke is that it really is an engine for innovation, for research and scholarship and creativity. And those are the kinds of things that fall really at the heart of what the Copyright Act is designed to promote: the progress of science and the useful arts. But oftentimes, especially as we're using pre-existing materials, we find ourselves bumping up against what the Copyright Act allows us to do, whether we can copy or distribute or publicly perform or display. Thankfully, there is a doctrine built into copyright that gives us some flexibility. The fair use doctrine allows us to avoid rigid application of the Act when it would stifle the creativity that it's really designed to foster. I think it's one of the most important tools that we have at universities to promote research and scholarship for faculty and students, exactly like the kind that Ryan has made here.
I wanted you to be able to actually, if you were to get up close, to actually sit there and read the entire page of horrible things that had been written, because I thought it was not a fair representation for you to only be able to read the things left and white. There's nothing profound about saying, because when I changed it, it now read things like, women do have the right to an education, and homosexuals can do good things, was the way I edited it out. And those aren't profound statements in and of themselves, but they become profound when you edit it from something that said the exact opposite, and the statement would have almost no poignancy at all if they stood on their own.
These sort of serious conversations about pre-existing material, some of which has been produced decades ago, and the commentary and criticism that scholars and students like Ryan have made on these would be extremely difficult, if not impossible, without a doctrine like fair use. I think it's so important that we have something like this in the United States, and I think it's so important that we work to maintain the integrity of this doctrine and that we defend it so that we still have access to it in the future.